up, guys? Welcome back to another Rosh Reviews, where today we are in a 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT, and the Hemi V8 up front. We got all-wheel drive here, the noise of this thing, and this is just honestly one of the most badass SUVs money could buy. And unfortunately today, you can't buy these things anymore. So should you go ahead and buy a used one? Today we are going to find out. Now, huge thanks, guys, to Car Giant WA for loaning me this particular Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. This is for sale. I'll leave a link for them in the description below. Guys, they've always got a huge range of these things over there. Extremely popular. So if you're going to think about, if you guys are thinking about getting one, go check them out. Now, the Jeep SRT, right? This thing came out originally in 2006. The golden years, mate. You know, my Typhoon is in 06. I absolutely love it, you know, and that thing had a 6.1 liter Hemi, just totally blew all the competition out of the water. You know, Australia really had something similar almost with the F6X. I did review that car. If you guys want to see it, I'll leave a link for it right here. I also have done a V8 territory review. If you guys want to see that, I'll leave a link for it also. And I have always said Ford made such a big mistake not having a V8 territory, because look at how successful this SRT was. And those crazy bastards over in America in the SRT division, and SRT stands for Street Racing Technology. Street Racing Technology was a division for Jeep and Dodge. So, yeah, those guys, I like them. Oh yeah, this thing is nuts. Now, guys, I have actually reviewed a Jeep Trackhawk. So if you want to see that video, I'll leave a link for it right here. You can click the pop-up banner, because that is basically this vehicle just on steroids. And it is still to this day my favorite SUV I've ever driven. One of my favorite even vehicles I think I've ever driven. It is that good. And I'll tell you though right now, this thing, even in SRT form, it is just so damn good. And it's no wonder that this thing has been in production since 2006, and it's only just now, because of all these greeny, left-wing, blue-haired freaking crybabies, that we're not having a Hemi V8 SRT in 2022 anymore. Now, from the internet trolls and all the gurus online, apparently Dodge and Jeep are working on an inline-six twin-turbo, and I think that is going to be what is going into the 2022 Jeep SRT. So apparently they haven't canned them, but from reading all on the internet, they've canned the V8 in these things, I think due to just political reasons and, you know, left-wing, blue-haired Muppets, as you all know. And it's a real shame. But, well, we still got these things on the used market, guys. Go and buy one, because I tell you what, as soon as they announce the new SRT Jeep with a different motor, these things are going to absolutely skyrocket in price. They just will. Now let's talk about what is powering this beast of a car, because it is a beast, and I tell you, when you're driving this thing, you feel like one. Like, you feel like a complete badass. And this is just a stock SRT, mate. You know what I mean? You don't even got to do nothing to these things. That's the beauty of them. These things weigh literally just under 3 tons. 3 tons of just mechanical brute force. And we got a 6.4 liter naturally aspirated Hemi up front. Just, the Americans know how to do it, mate. Just like us Aussies back in the day. I just cannot, this is pinnacle Australian design. I'm just going to say that. Big ass engine up front, V8, just make it as crazy, as ludicrous as you can. And this is what the Aussies were doing all through the 90s through the early 2000s, mate. Until we got shut down, this is what we did. And, you know, I got to give credit to Jeep and America over there for at least picking up some of the pieces. And since our division closed here in Australia, I will admit they have picked up their game. It is just a crying shame that it's unaffordable for most of the Australian public to get in a lot of those cars because they don't even offer them here anymore. Just ridiculous. Now that big old freedom-loving V8 up front puts out 344 kilowatts of power, and we're talking over 624 Newton meters, guys. And that's before you take this thing to the tuner and open her up. So this thing has got massive go. And it is all-wheel drive. You know, it's rear-wheel drive bias, so that is still a good thing, this thing. You know what I mean? You got different drive modes. It's just ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. And this is exactly how you want to make a fun car. The Jeep/Dodge, they nailed this recipe because you make it affordable enough that people can get into one of these things, which it is technically. It's a lot of money, but you can get in one. And you got track apps here, so you got SRT pages. You can go in there, you can do lap times. You've got a launch control button right down here. You've got different drive modes. So you got track, sport, tow mode. This thing can tow, mate. You got a snow mode even. You know, custom drive modes, flappy paddle shifters, you know, carbon fiber, leather, suede. Just the place feels nice. It looks nice. It's not the most well-built machine on the road. I'm sure it isn't. But you got an 8-speed ZF right here. It shifts well. The noise, it sounds bloody awesome. You got a big panoramic sunroof, leather seats, heated and cooled. You know what I mean, guys? It just goes on. And the potential of this thing, man. And when you drive it, there's just something about being so high up and the looks of this thing. It looks just spot on. It's a badass looking SUV. And when you're driving this thing, you're up high. You got a big V8 Hemi note coming out the back. The power is here. Oh my, you cannot be disappointed sitting in this thing. You can't. Alrighty guys, and just in sport mode here, and we'll just oh baby, America, you know what I mean? 3 tons of kicking ass, and mate, it is just unbelievable. Fair freaking play, you know what I mean? Like, just to make this thing for so long. I understand that, you know, this SRT is dead now, unfortunately. This is a 2017, you know, 2022 here. Apparently they're not coming back in V8 form, at least. And it is a crying shame, but you just got to give them credit for making something as crazy as this for so long, because it just ain't nothing else like this on the road, you know. And it's a shame because I think a lot of people love this thing. And, man, it is a hoot, this thing. Now, let's be real. Jeep is definitely not the best in terms of reliability. I do have faith in the Hemi V8, of course, but the electrics is what's probably going to break on this thing. You know, you got a whole bunch of... The infotainment system's average at best. It's great that it's got the SRT apps and everything like that. It's super cool. But, yeah, Jeep is known for electrical problems, and don't get this thing wet. That's my advice. Now, this is so true, right? And I kind of feel for us Aussies here because the FPV and the HSV crew, I think, would be sitting at the Jeep and Dodge table. Because you look at all these Toyotas and Mitsubishis and Volvos and all these companies that are coming out with just EVs and hybrids, and they're dropping their V8s, and they're, you know, putting in this garbage, whinging to the blue-haired crybabies. And literally, you got Jeep and Dodge just coming back from an all-night bender, wiping the white powder from their nose, just going, yeah, mate, chuck another V8 in that thing. Let's dial it up. You know what I mean? Like, and FPV and HSV would have been right there, boys. I tell you. And it's just a crying shame that they're not here anymore because, my goodness, this is one absolutely badass SUV that is just ridiculous that this thing even exists. Now guys, if you're enjoying this type of content, please make sure you guys go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button and click the bell notification so you do get updated on all my weekly uploads. I'm uploading 2 times a week, and I'm always trying to find some crazy, weird stuff you haven't seen before. Performance, V8, turbos, that's my jam, boys. So hit the subscribe button. Wow, we are gonna get into some trouble today. Now, 0 to 100, guys, let us try this. A little bit hard to find a reasonably flat road here, but I'm gonna reset the draggy, hit launch button, and literally just hard on the brake, hard on the accelerator, apply full throttle. Go. Oh! Oh! Wow. What an experience. You know what I mean? Like when Dodge was just at the boardroom meeting, you know, oh, how are we going to implement this launch control feature? Mate, just slap a big launch button right there. Like there's heated and cooled seats in this vehicle, and there's no button down here to turn them on. You got a launch button, an SRT button, and a custom drive mode. America, you want to change your heated or cooled seats? You got to go and fumble around in the infotainment system because that ain't American. I'll tell you what is. Launch control. And just sending it. Oh, yeah! You know what? I could get used to the people at Dodge and Jeep. I really could. Let's have a look at the time. 5.5 seconds, and we were uphill still by 1.5 degrees. So, guys, if you're on a perfect road, like this is the worst road as well. It's a super bumpy, like just not a well-paved road. We've gone uphill twice. This thing, I reckon on a perfect launch is gonna be sub 5 seconds. And that is so damn impressive for a 3-ton vehicle that's naturally aspirated. So, yeah, this thing is badass. You feel like a badass when you drive it. And Jeep and Dodge, you're just forever in that category now with FPV and HSV as one of the most badass manufacturers. So, Ross Reviews approves this vehicle. Now, I'm going to finish the video off here today, guys. So, look, a huge thank you to Car Giant WA for loaning me out this particular Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT because this thing is fantastic. It's such a shame that we are no longer getting these things in 2022. Yeah, guys, if you can afford one of these things, you're thinking about it, just go and buy it because these things are only going to appreciate if you get them in good nick, take care of them. Yeah, a real thing of beauty. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you're new here. We will see you in that next video. Oh yeah.